My name is Sifan, and what I'm about to share with you will change how you look at love forever. Sometimes, the person you trust the most becomes the person you should fear the most. This is the story of Sam Thompson, 32 years old, a father of 5. A man who worked 3 jobs just to put a smile on his family's faces. A man who saved every penny he could to give his wife something she'd dreamed about her entire life. These pictures, taken during what should have been the happiest week of Sam's life, show a man full of smiles, a woman by his side, both of them appearing like the perfect couple living their best life. But something was terribly wrong. 2 days after this photo was taken, Sam was dead. Not from an accident. Not from illness. Not from anything you'd expect. Sam died because someone he loved more than life itself decided that his life didn't matter. When that person got caught and sat in a courtroom facing serious charges, they did something that shocked everyone in that room. Something that revealed their true nature. Something that will make your blood run cold. This is a story about sacrifice and betrayal. About a man who gave everything to someone who returned nothing but pain. About 5 innocent children who witnessed something no child should ever see. This is Sam's story, and trust me, you have no idea where this is going. But before we dive into this heartbreaking case, I need you to do something for me. If stories like this matter to you, hit that subscribe button right now. Ring that notification bell, because here at Hidden Agenda Files 247, we don't just tell stories. We remember the forgotten, and we make sure that the truth never gets buried. Now, let's talk about how a dream vacation became a nightmare that ended in death. The church was packed that day, April 25, 2025. 5 little kids in the front row, crying for their daddy who would never come home. Sam's mother, Mrs. Mary Thompson, sitting there like her whole world had ended, because it had. But let me take you back to when Sam was alive. When he was the kind of man every woman claims she wants, but most don't know how to love. Sam wasn't the tallest guy. Not the richest guy. But he had something special, a heart bigger than Texas and hands that never stopped working. He got up at 5 a.m. for his first job, came home, played with his kids, then went to his second job. On weekends, he did odd jobs around the neighborhood. 3 jobs, y'all, 3 jobs. Why? Because Sam had 5 mouths to feed, and a woman who liked nice things. That woman was Tasha Miller, 35 years old, loud, confident, and demanding. The kind of woman who walked into a room and made sure everyone knew she was there. She had a way of talking, like the world owed her something. I'm not here to judge how a woman looks or acts, but I am here to tell you the truth. And the truth is, while Sam was breaking his back working 3 jobs, Tasha was posting on social media about her blessed life. Look at this, she'd post. My man treats me like a queen. I don't cook, I don't clean, but I stay pretty. He does everything for me. Everything. She wasn't lying about that part. Sam paid every bill. Sam cooked most dinners. Sam helped the kids with homework after working 14-hour days. Sam cleaned the house on his 1 day off. And Sam, he loved it. He loved taking care of her. He loved being needed. He loved being the man who could make his woman happy. But here's what those pretty pictures didn't show. Here's what Tasha never posted about: the fights. The screaming matches. The nights when Sam slept on the couch because he made her mad. Sam wasn't just working 3 jobs to pay bills. He was working 3 jobs to keep the peace in his house. Because when Tasha was unhappy, everyone was unhappy. And Sam would do anything to keep his family together, even if keeping them together was killing him. Sam and Tasha's story started when they were teenagers. She was 18 when she had their first baby. They moved into a tiny apartment, 2 bedrooms for what would eventually become 7 people: Sam, Tasha, and their 5 kids. The walls were thin. The money was tight. And the pressure was crushing. Now, I want you to imagine being a teenager with a baby, barely finishing high school, trying to figure out how to pay rent. Most people would crack under that pressure. Most people would fight. But Sam and Tasha, they didn't just fight, they went to war. Mrs. Mary Thompson, Sam's mama, saw things. Things that made her stomach hurt. Things that made her pray every night for her son. One day, she came by to visit. Sam was in the kitchen making sandwiches for the kids. He reached up to grab something from the cabinet, and his sleeve rolled up. Mrs. Mary saw the marks. Dark marks on his arms. Finger-shaped bruises on his wrists. "Baby," she said. "What happened to your arms?" Sam quickly pulled his sleeve down. "Nothing, Mama. I fell while fixing the sink." But Mrs. Mary wasn't born yesterday. She'd seen bruises before. She knew the difference between falling down and being hurt by someone you love. The truth? Tasha had a temper. A bad one. When she got mad, and she got mad about everything, she didn't just yell. She threw things. She pushed. She hit. She grabbed. And Sam never hit back. Not once. Because his mama raised him to never put his hands on a woman, even when that woman was putting her hands on him. The cycle? It was always the same. Fight. Make up. Fight. Worse. Make up harder. Sam thought this was normal. He thought this was love. His phone got broken 3 times in 2 years. "I dropped it," he'd tell people. But you don't drop a phone hard enough to shatter it into pieces. Someone throws it. Someone stomps on it. Someone uses it as a weapon. The neighbors heard them fighting through those thin walls. Everyone heard everything, yelling, crying, things crashing. Then silence. Then music playing loud, like nothing happened. Mrs. Mary tried to talk to her son. "Baby, this ain't right. Love don't leave marks. Love don't break things." But Sam always defended Tasha. "She's just stressed, Mama. She's got 5 kids to worry about. She doesn't mean it. She loves me." Maybe she did love him. But here's the thing about love: real love doesn't hurt. Real love doesn't leave bruises. Real love doesn't make you afraid to come home. But Sam was afraid. He was afraid to say the wrong thing. Afraid to come home late. Afraid to spend money on himself. Afraid to make her mad. He was walking on eggshells in his own house, and everyone could see it. Except him. The worst part? Sam thought he deserved it. He thought if he just worked harder, loved harder, gave more, she'd stop being angry. Stop being violent. Stop hurting him. So he worked that 3rd job. Saved every penny. And planned something special. Something that would prove, once and for all, how much he loved her. Something that would end up costing him his life. But before we get to that tragic ending, let me tell you about the other side of Sam's life. The side that made him who he was. The side that made everyone love him. Sam wasn't just a victim. He was a hero to his kids. Every morning, before he left for his first job, he made sure they had breakfast. Every night, when he came home tired and sore, he helped with homework. He never missed a school play, a soccer game, or a parent-teacher conference. His co-workers loved him too. At the construction site, Sam was the guy who brought donuts on Friday. At the restaurant, he stayed late to help new servers learn the menu. At the landscaping company, he was the one who always volunteered for the hardest jobs. Because that's who Sam was. A giver. A helper. A man who put everyone else first. His friends tried to warn him about Tasha. They saw the changes in him over the years. How he got quieter. How he stopped going out. How he always had excuses for why he couldn't hang out. But Sam would just smile and say, "You don't understand. She needs me. The kids need me. This is what family looks like." And maybe he was right. Maybe that's what his family looked like. But it wasn't what love was supposed to look like. Jamaica. Paradise on earth. White sand beaches. Crystal blue water. The kind of place people dream about visiting their whole lives. For Tasha, Jamaica wasn't just a dream. It was an obsession. She posted about it constantly, shared other people's vacation pictures, talked about how she deserved to go somewhere beautiful, how she'd never been anywhere in her life. Every time she saw someone else's tropical vacation photos, she'd show Sam. "Look at this. Look how happy they are. I wish I could go somewhere like that." I wish someone loved me enough to take me somewhere special. And Sam? Sam heard every word, every hint, every dream. She shared about walking on that beach, drinking those drinks, feeling like a queen in paradise. So Sam made a plan. A secret plan that would take him 6 months to pull off. A plan that would cost him $8,400. Money he didn't have. Money he would have to work 3 jobs to save. While Tasha slept in on weekends, Sam was out mowing lawns for $20 each. While she got her nails done, Sam was working double shifts at the restaurant. While she bought new clothes, Sam was eating peanut butter sandwiches for lunch to save money. $8,400. Do you know how long it takes to save that much money when you're already living paycheck to paycheck? When you've got 5 kids and rent and car payments and groceries? It took Sam 6 months of saying no to everything. No new clothes for himself. No going out with friends. No little treats or extras. Everything went into a secret savings account that Tasha didn't know about. Because Sam knew, if she found out, she'd want to spend the money on something else. Something for right now instead of later. So, he kept it secret. Kept working. Kept saving. Kept dreaming about the look on her face when he surprised her. The extra work was killing him. Sam was already working 14-hour days. Now he was adding weekend lawn care, late-night restaurant shifts, and every odd job he could find. He was losing weight, getting sick more often, looking older than his 32 years. But every time he deposited another $100 into that secret account, he smiled. Because he was building something. He was creating a moment that would change everything. And finally, in March of 2025, he had enough. Enough for the flights, the hotel, the meals, the excursions, everything she'd ever dreamed about. Sam spent hours researching the perfect resort, reading reviews, comparing prices, making sure every detail would be perfect. He booked everything himself, 5 days, for nights at a beautiful resort in Montego Bay. All-inclusive. The works. He even booked a couple's massage and a sunset dinner on the beach. Then came the surprise. March 15, 2025. Sam came home from work with a big envelope. He called all the kids into the living room, set up his phone to record. "Tasha," he said, "I got something for you." She opened that envelope and saw the plane tickets, the hotel reservation, the itinerary. "And y'all," she screamed, cried, fell to her knees, hugged him so tight, like she never wanted to let him go. The video went viral on her social media. "My man booked my dream vacation. I don't deserve this man. Jamaica, here we come." The comments were everything Sam hoped for. Relationship goals. "You got a good man, girl. When is it my turn?" For once, Natasha was posting about Sam being amazing. For once, she was showing the world how much he loved her. For once, Sam felt like he'd done something right. But if Sam had known what would happen on that trip, if he had known that his dream gift would turn into a nightmare, if he had known that those 5 days in paradise would be the last 5 days of his life, he might have kept that $8,400 in the bank. He might have stayed home. He might have lived to see his kids grow up. But Sam didn't know. How could he? All he knew was that, for the first time in years, his wife was happy. His wife was grateful. His wife was posting about how amazing he was. And for Sam, that was worth every penny he'd saved. Worth every extra hour he'd worked. Worth everything. Even his life. April 18, 2025. The plane touched down in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Sam and Natasha stepped off that plane into paradise. Warm air, ocean breeze, the smell of salt water and freedom. For the first time in years, Sam wasn't thinking about work. He wasn't thinking about bills. He wasn't thinking about anything except making his wife happy. The resort was everything the pictures promised. All-inclusive meant they could eat whatever they wanted, drink whatever they wanted, do whatever they wanted. No worrying about money. No checking prices. Just pure luxury. And for the first day, it was perfect. They walked on the beach holding hands, took pictures by the water, drank fruity drinks with little umbrellas. Sam had never seen Natasha so relaxed, so happy, so grateful. That first night, they had dinner on the beach, candles, waves crashing, stars overhead. Natasha posted picture after picture. "This is what dreams are made of. My husband is amazing. Living my best life." Sam felt like he was finally winning. Finally being the husband she deserved. But paradise has a way of showing people who they really are. When you take away all the stress, all the distractions, all the excuses, what's left is just you. The real you. Day 2 started perfect. They slept in, ordered room service, planned to spend the whole day at the beach. But then Sam's phone rang. It was his boss from the construction job. There was a problem with a project. Nothing major, just needed Sam to make a quick call to straighten things out. "Baby, I just gotta handle this real quick," Sam told Natasha. 5 minutes, I promise. 5 minutes, that's all." But Natasha. She heard that phone ring and something inside her snapped. "Are you kidding me right now?" she yelled. "We're in Jamaica, Sam. Jamaica. And you're taking work calls." Sam tried to calm her down. "Baby, it's just 5 minutes. I promise, then I'm all yours for the rest of the trip." But it was too late. The switch had flipped. The Natasha from back home, the angry one, the violent one, the one who couldn't let anything go, she was back. She stormed out of the room, slammed the door so hard the picture frames rattled, leaving Sam standing there in paradise, feeling like he'd ruined everything with one phone call. For 3 hours, she was gone. Wouldn't answer her phone. Wouldn't respond to texts. Sam walked the resort looking for her, apologizing to empty air, promising he'd never take another work call again. The other guests stared at him, the man walking around a beautiful resort looking lost and desperate, calling out for his wife like a little boy who'd lost his mother. When she finally came back, she acted like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just spent 3 hours punishing him for trying to be responsible. Like she hadn't just turned their dream vacation into a nightmare with her temper. They made up that night on the beach. Sam apologized over and over, promised to turn his phone off for the rest of the trip, promised to focus only on her. And Natasha. She posted a picture of them together with the caption, "You're my whole world, Jeffrey. Jamaica vibes forever." Looking at that picture now, knowing what happened next, you can see it in Sam's eyes. He's not happy. He's relieved. Relieved that she's not mad anymore. Relieved that he hadn't ruined the vacation he'd worked so hard to give her. He spent $8,400 to make her happy, and he was walking on eggshells in paradise, afraid to make her angry again. The rest of the trip was good, great, even. They took more pictures, made more memories. Natasha posted constantly about how amazing everything was, how perfect Sam was, how blessed she felt. But Sam was counting down the days until they could go home. Because even in paradise, he wasn't safe from her anger. Even after giving her everything she'd ever wanted, he was still walking on eggshells. April 20th, 2025. Easter Sunday. They flew home with suitcases full of souvenirs and phones full of perfect pictures. Natasha fell asleep on the plane with her head on Sam's shoulder, smiling in her dreams about the best vacation of her life. Sam stared out the window at the clouds, probably thinking about getting back to work. Back to reality. Back to taking care of his family. He had no idea that he had less than 12 hours to live. No idea that the woman sleeping peacefully on his shoulder would be the one to kill him. No idea that their dream vacation would become evidence in a murder trial. Because sometimes, giving someone everything they want isn't enough. Sometimes, love isn't enough. Sometimes, all the sacrifice in the world can't save you from someone who was never worthy of it in the first place. Easter Sunday morning, April 20th, 2025. The house was full of joy. 5 little kids running around in their Easter clothes, hunting for eggs, eating chocolate, laughing the way children do when life is simple and safe. Sam was in the kitchen, making breakfast. Probably tired from the long flight home. Probably already thinking about going back to work the next day. But still smiling. Still being the dad his kids needed. Natasha was different. Quiet. The vacation glow was already fading. Reality was setting in. Bills waiting on the counter. Laundry piling up. Life calling her back from paradise. Now, y'all, I want you to understand something. Sam wasn't perfect. No man is. And on that Easter morning, he made a mistake. A tiny mistake that most couples would talk through and forget about by dinner. He looked at their bank account. $8,400 for Jamaica, plus the money they'd spent while they were there, plus the bills that had piled up while they were gone. The account was overdrawn. Not by much, but enough to matter when you're living paycheck to paycheck. So, Sam did what responsible husbands do. He brought it up. "Hey, baby," he said. "We need to talk about money. The account is overdrawn. I think we need to make a budget, figure out how to get back on track." Those words, "we need to talk about money," after the best vacation of her life, after he'd just given her everything she'd ever wanted, after she'd spent 5 days posting about how amazing he was, Natasha heard criticism. She heard blame. She heard him taking away her joy. "Don't start, Sam," she said. "Don't you dare start with me today." But Sam wasn't starting anything. He was trying to be responsible. Trying to figure out how to pay the bills and take care of his family. The same thing he'd been doing for 17 years. "I'm not starting anything," he said. "I just think we need to be careful. Maybe eat out less. Maybe you shouldn't have taken me to Jamaica if we couldn't afford it. Maybe you should have thought about that before playing big shot." You'll hear that? Sam saved for 6 months. Worked 3 jobs. Gave her the vacation of her dreams. And now she's mad at him for spending the money. Mad at him for the overdrawn account. Mad at him for trying to fix the problem. Sam tried to stay calm. He always tried to stay calm. "Baby, that's not what I'm saying. I wanted to take you to Jamaica. I'm glad we went. I just think I can't do this today, Sam. I can't. Not today." She grabbed her keys and headed for the door. Sam knew that walk. Knew that anger. Knew she was about to leave and not come back for hours, leaving him to explain to the kids where Mommy went on Easter Sunday. So he followed her. Barefoot. Still in his pajamas. Just trying to calm her down. "Tasha, wait. Let's just talk about this." But she was already in the car, engine running, hands gripping the steering wheel like it was the only thing keeping her sane. Sam stood in front of the car, not blocking her in, not being aggressive, just standing there, hands up, trying to get her to calm down. The neighbors were watching now, Mrs. Johnson from next door, the Martinez family from across the street, little kids on bikes who'd stopped to see what was happening. Everyone could see this was about to go bad. "Move, Sam," Natasha snapped. "The kids are watching. It's Easter. Let's just go inside." And I said, "Move." What happened next? It took 3 seconds. 3 seconds that changed everything. 3 seconds that turned 5 children into orphans and a wife into a killer. Natasha put the car in drive. She pressed the gas pedal. She hit Sam at 25 miles per hour. Sam flew 15 feet. He hit the pavement hard. His head cracked against the curb. Blood everywhere. His body twisted in ways bodies aren't supposed to twist. The neighbors came running. Someone called 911. Someone else tried to help Sam, but it was too late. Too much damage. Too much blood. And Natasha. She sat in that car, screaming, crying. It was an accident. It was an accident. He jumped in front of the car. But the neighbors saw everything. They saw her hit the gas. They saw Sam try to get out of the way. They saw a woman use her car as a weapon against the man who'd just given her the world. The paramedics worked on Sam for 20 minutes. Tried everything, but some things can't be fixed. Some damage can't be undone. Sam was pronounced dead at 11:47 a.m. on Easter Sunday, 2025. 2 days after posting pictures from the best vacation of his life. 5 hours after making breakfast for his kids. 3 minutes after trying to have a responsible conversation about money. The kids saw everything. All 5 of them. watched their mother kill their father, watched their world end on what should have been a day of celebration and joy. Mrs. Mary Thompson, Sam's mother, got the call at church. She had to leave Easter service to identify her son's body. She had to look at the boy she'd raised. The man who'd worked 3 jobs to take care of his family, lying on a metal table. Because the woman he loved had run him down like a dog in the street. And Natasha. While Sam's blood was still on the pavement, while the kids were crying in the neighbor's house, while Mrs. Mary was falling to her knees in that hospital hallway, Natasha was already calling it an accident. Already lying. Already protecting herself. Already making Sam's death about her pain, her trauma, her accident. The man who'd saved for 6 months to take her to Jamaica was dead, and she was already rewriting the story to make herself the victim. But here's the thing about the truth, it doesn't stay buried. And there were too many witnesses. Too much evidence. Too much history of violence for anyone to believe this was just a tragic accident. The police had questions. The neighbors had answers. And Mrs. Mary? She had stories. Stories about bruises. Stories about broken phones. Stories about a son who was afraid of the woman he loved. Justice was coming for Natasha, slowly, but surely. Because Sam deserved justice. The kids deserved justice. And the truth deserved to be told, even if it took a murder trial to tell it. The arrest came 3 days later. Natasha was charged with second-degree murder. Not manslaughter. Not vehicular homicide. Murder. Because the evidence was clear. She'd used her car as a weapon, and Sam was dead because of it. The courtroom was packed every day of the trial. Mrs. Mary in the front row, holding pictures of her son. The 5 kids, staying with relatives, trying to understand how their mother could be in jail and their father could be gone forever. Natasha's defense was simple. It was an accident. She was upset. She was backing out. Sam jumped in front of the car. Just a tragic misunderstanding between 2 people who loved each other. But the prosecution had a different story to tell. A story about years of abuse. About a pattern of violence. About a woman who'd finally gone too far. They brought in the neighbors who'd heard the fights. The co-workers who'd seen Sam's bruises. The phone records showing the broken devices. Mrs. Mary's testimony about the marks on her son's arms. They showed the vacation pictures, Sam looking tired, even in paradise. The social media posts where Natasha bragged about Sam doing everything for her. The bank records showing him working 3 jobs while she spent money on herself. And then came the moment that sealed Natasha's fate. The moment that showed the courtroom exactly who she really was. The prosecution played the 911 call. Natasha's voice, panicked and crying, telling the operator it was an accident. But then they played Mrs. Johnson's phone video. The one that showed Sam trying to calm her down. The one that showed her hitting the gas on purpose. The one that proved she was lying. When that video played in court, when everyone saw the truth of what happened, Natasha did something that shocked everyone in that room. She laughed. Sitting right there at the defendant's table. Watching video of herself killing her husband. Watching Sam die all over again. She laughed like it was funny. Like Sam's death was some kind of joke only she understood. The jury saw it. The judge saw it. Mrs. Mary saw it. And in that moment, everyone knew exactly what kind of person Natasha really was. The trial lasted 2 weeks. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. 4 hours to decide the fate of a woman who'd killed the man who'd given her everything. Guilty. Second-degree murder. 25 years to life. Mrs. Mary spoke at the sentencing. She held a picture of Sam and told the court about the son she'd lost. The man who'd worked 3 jobs. The father who died trying to keep his family together. She took my baby, Mrs. Mary said. She took my grandbaby's daddy. She took everything good and pure from this world and left us with nothing but pain. The kids are living with Mrs. Mary now. 5 children trying to understand how their mother could kill their father. How the woman who was supposed to protect them became the person they needed protection from. As for Natasha, she's serving her sentence at the Women's Correctional Facility upstate. She still claims it was an accident, but she never talks about missing Sam. never apologizes for taking a father away from his children, never acknowledges that her actions destroyed a family. Sam's funeral was beautiful. Hundreds of people came to say goodbye to a man who touched so many lives. His co-workers spoke about his work ethic. His neighbors spoke about his kindness. His children spoke about how much they loved their daddy. The church was full of flowers. The kids each placed a rose on his casket. Mrs. Mary held his picture and whispered, "Sleep easy, baby. Mama's got the kids." He deserved better. He deserved a woman who appreciated his sacrifices. He deserved to watch his children grow up. He deserved to live. But Sam's story isn't just about death. It's about love. About sacrifice. About a man who gave everything he had to the people who mattered to him. And maybe that's the lesson here. Maybe Sam's death can save someone else's life. Maybe someone listening to this will recognize the signs, the bruises, the broken phones, the walking on eggshells, the fear disguised as love. If that someone is you, if you're living Sam's life right now, please know this. Love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't leave marks. Love doesn't make you afraid to come home. Real love builds you up. Real love supports your dreams. Real love never, ever puts you in danger. This has been Stephen with Hidden Agenda Files 247. Until next time, stay safe out there. Because the most dangerous person in your life might be the one who claims to love you the most. If this story touched your heart, if you believe victims like Sam deserve to have their stories told, please subscribe to Hidden Agenda Files 247. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because together, we can make sure that victims like Sam are never forgotten. Like this video if it moved you. Comment below with your thoughts and prayers for Sam's children. And remember, love should never cost you your life. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. And thank you for helping us seek justice for those who can no longer speak for themselves.